I am back from my first ever Go Wild Pass trip with Frontier Airlines, and it was amazing. I'm gonna cover what to do with 2 full days in Santo Domingo. We're gonna talk about Santo Domingo, where I stayed, what I did, what I recommend, etc. I stayed at the Catalonia Santo Domingo, which is a 5-star huge hotel, which was gorgeous and I loved it, and it was cheap. I got a single room, ocean view, just gorgeous. It was like $100 a night, but there was nothing walkable from the hotel. It was on the Malecon, which is like their boardwalk kind of thing, but it's advised really not to go out on your own, and I'm a female solo traveler, so I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna risk that. I booked a full day tour to Saona Island, which I 1000% recommend. There are a ton of different tours you can book. They're all very similar, but most of them offer hotel pickup or like a meeting point pickup. So in Santo Domingo was not a popular pickup because it's very far, like 2 or 3 hours on the bus to get to the main boat area. But they had a pickup in Zona Colonial, which is actually like the really cool historical city center kind of Santo Domingo, and it's probably the most touristy, safest place in the whole city. Everything is very local there. You can go out to get cheap dinners, cheap waters, the grocery store, you name it, and it's just really cute at night and during the day and everything. But anyway, so I had to get an Uber from the Catalonia to the Zona Colonial. It's like $5. Oh, Uber's not super expensive there, but it adds up, and it's really safe how the Uber works. There's a pin it gives you, and you get in and you show them the pin, they enter it in, or you could tell them the pin. So I got down to the meeting point and we met at like 6 in the morning. Oh my God, so early. We took a bus ride, we stopped for snacks, and we got down to Bahia Hibit. We boarded a little boat that took us to a bigger boat because the bigger boat couldn't come all the way to shore. And then we took a boat ride, and it was just gorgeous. And they played fun music, and at like 10:30 in the morning, they were like, do you want Sprite or Coca-Cola? And I was like, Coca-Cola. And then they gave it to me, and it was a rum and Coke, and that was a big surprise, but that was fun. Our first stop was a sandbar where we all got out, and it was like maybe up to your waist, really gorgeous turquoise waters. You could swim around, take a ton of pictures. We were there for like 20 or 30 minutes, then we got back on the boat and we went on to Saona Island. Again, we had to like transfer boats to be able to get to the shore. Oh my gosh, this island was like true paradise, just gorgeous. Gorgeous. The whole tour, like all the drinks you could drink, alcohol and non-alcoholic, were all included. And then at Saona Island, they had a buffet set up, which was really yummy, and they had more drinks and stuff, but they also had vendors, so you could pay for a massage on the beach, you could pay for one of those like coconut drinks. They were selling like jewelry and stuff. They had toilets, but they had these like pots that you had to fill up with water and dump in there to manually flush. It was funny, but they did have bathrooms, and I changed out of my swimsuit at the end. They had some hammocks. It was just gorgeous. I really loved my time there, just relaxing and swimming. Around 2 or 3 o'clock, we boarded the boat and headed back. We got back to Bahia Hibit, and then we had to take the bus back, and it was literally like after 8 o'clock when we got back to Santo Domingo. Like, it was a long 14-hour day. We were exhausted, but I went to dinner and then I went home. On day 2, I wanted to be my day of like exploring the Zona Colonial, learning some history and culture. So I booked a free walking tour. I'm gonna link some of these below. They have like full day tours, which cost like $75, and they take you to several things, and they sounded amazing, but I kind of wanted it to be more flexible. So I found a free walking tour by Civitates. It's free, but then there's like a required $10 tip at the end, which I felt like was way worth it because our guide Leo was so amazing. It was supposed to be a 1-hour walking tour. It ended up being 3 hours. We were all like exhausted and dehydrated by the end of it, but it was so amazing. Like, the city is gorgeous, but I didn't realize that Dominican Republic was the 3rd place that Columbus landed at. So he landed at Bahamas, and then Cuba, and then Dominican Republic, and then Santo Domingo was where they first set up, like built the first European city in all of the Americas, like North America, Central and South America. Of all the Americas, Santo Domingo was first. So cool. So they had the first university, the first hospital, the first walking street, like just really cool history. Other stuff about the history, like I didn't realize that they had a Haiti trying to overtake them, and then they had a 20 or 30 years of dictatorship. They've just been through so so much. And like their fort we went to, you could still see the bullet holes. Some of the churches you could see damage from when they were bombed and from earthquakes. I really knew nothing about Dominican Republic other than it's a popular all-inclusive resort kind of place to go. But I'm really glad I didn't do the all-inclusive resort way, because I feel like I really got a taste of the island much better than you would in that case. With 2 full days there, like did so much. So I spent the whole morning on the second day doing the walking tour in the Zona Colonial downtown area. Then I went to lunch on my own in the little square. It was just gorgeous. There were musicians. It's just really lively down there. And then I took an Uber to the Los Tres Ojos, the caves with these gorgeous turquoise lakes in the caves. And there are 4 different caves with lakes you can go to. The Uber was like $3 or $4 to get over there, and there are tours and stuff. Again, you can pay extra, but I just paid myself. I think it was like equivalent to $4 to enter the caves. And then one of the caves inside, there was a little boat ride you could take, and that was $1 extra, which was actually cash only. The $4 entrance was card only, so make sure you have both. But yeah, that was so cool. And I really liked going on my own because I could just go at my own pace. And there are random people you can ask to take a picture or stuff like that. But if you want to learn more about the caves, do a tour. But if you want to just kind of like go on your own, I think that's a really easy and cheap way to do it. So cheap. From there, I took an Uber to the Faro o Colon. I messed up because it was like 4:55 when I got there, and they close at 5. So I couldn't even go in, but it was still worth going because it's this huge lighthouse monument to Columbus, and it's really cool. It was giving Maze Runner vibes, like really, really weird and cool looking monument. But when I got there, it was like almost closed. There was like no one there, and it felt a little bit nervous. So I very quickly walked around, took pictures, and got an Uber out of there because it was like in the middle of nowhere. And I just felt like if somebody drives by and sees me out there alone, I just felt like kind of a target. So I don't recommend going there after hours by yourself, but I definitely recommend going. It was cool. Yeah, then I was exhausted. I went back to my hotel, had dinner, went to bed, and the next day I flew out. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. Bye.